Lands him with the left fender and in his back and throws him forward like 30 feet. You can see him over the hood of the car, like in the distance, almost on the other side of the street.
And like, okay, mind you, we have not seen a drop of water all day in this video, but there's like a puddle, there's like wet asphalt where the cop lands. So the cop like lands and like slides in the water and is like soaking wet by the time. So he like gets hit, rolls up on the hood, gets projected like forward, lands in like the puddle of water and slides like a fucking water slide down the street and is like starts rolling after that, and he's soaking wet to add to like on top of this. He's also very wet. It's so fucking funny. It's amazing.
So yeah, I thought we might talk about something a little more lighthearted, a little more fun, just to, kind of get the taste out of our mouths here. So got a story here from KTLA 5. Video appears to show LA police cruiser hit another officer during chase. People may have seen this. This is from a few weeks ago, but it's something I've saved for a rainy day, just to kind of help lighten the mood here. First of all,
It's not seriously hurt.
This video is wild. You're going to see this moment.
Enforcement rushed to the scene in Sun Valley.
Wild.
Behind the wheel of an LAPD cruiser appears to strike a fellow officer.
KTLA's Sandra Mitchell is live in Hollywood with the video and the investigation now underway. Sandy.
Sharon, Micah, let me start by saying the officer was not seriously hurt, but this video is wild. You're going to see this moment of impact. To some people, it might be disturbing. The sirens, the
so fast
tires, and then the moment of impact.
Yeah, the officer was driving like 75 miles an hour down a residential street,
like through traffic too, like very, very scary stuff.
He's coming up on an intersection, and there's a cop that's like running across the street up ahead of him, and he just follows the cop and hits him.
Yeah.
Impact. It's hard to believe the LAPD officer slammed by a car, thrown through
lands him with the left fender and in his back and throws him forward like 30 feet. You can see him over the hood of the car, like in the distance, almost on the other side of the street.
And like, okay, mind you, we have not seen a drop of water all day in this video, but there's like a puddle, there's like wet asphalt where the cop lands. So the cop lands and like slides in the water and is like soaking wet by the time. So he like gets hit, rolls up on the hood, gets projected like forward, lands in like the puddle of water and slides like a fucking water slide down the street and is like starts rolling after that, and he's soaking wet to add to like on top of this. He's also very wet. It's so fucking funny. It's amazing.
If I were there, I would have put my coat down.
There's like a wake. There was a wake. You can see water spraying from where he's going. Yeah, he was. Here you go. Stay dry.
They're tumbling across the ground.
The rollover, the pitiful rollover. Like if you've ever seen like a really large drunk guy like on the floor rolling over, that's how the last rollover looked. It's just so pitiful. And he's so wet.
I don't know how he didn't get serious injuries from this.
Because of the water. The water saved him. The water fucking saved him.
He fucking skipped like a stone. It also should be he's Mexican. He's a brown guy. He's a brown cop. And I think that is like a piece of why he got hit. I genuinely think like this guy thought he was the suspect and ran him down. Ran him fucking down. He did a pit maneuver on his lower back.
He was like, that Mexican stole a cop's uniform. I'm gonna get him.
Not just his uniform, his whole identity. Look, I found a badge and everything. Found an ID. This sick fuck.
He's been planning this.
But the thing is it's like LA, it's LAPD, so there's tons of Mexicans, there's tons of Hispanics on the force. So like, I don't know what's going on here, to be honest. Did he like Did he like fuck his other girlfriend one too many times or something like that? Like, was he going to testify about how the driver did sexual assault on a person in custody or what?
Now, okay, I do want to take a little bit off of the driver. I do think there's a little bit of like the driver being like, there's no fucking way he's going to run in front of my car right now, right? I'm going fast. My sirens are on. He's not going to run he's running in front of my car. I'm hitting him now.
He's like running in the middle of the street and he's running. He crosses this. But I wouldn't turn after him.
Yeah.
Because he's already crosses your plane of travel, your direction of travel. You don't have to turn the steering wheel, you know. I would maybe
maneuver your homie
block or something like that.
That's it's
not
incredible.
Seriously injured. KTLA exclusively obtained this dash cam video. It appears to show an LAPD patrol vehicle hit the officer as he runs across the street.
No water anywhere. The only it's
inside
so
the LAPD vehicle yells "heads up," and then the accident.
I just hear the helicopter and then I hear sirens, and as soon as I hear tire screeching.
Hector Morales witnessed the chaos. He didn't see the officer go down, but he says LAPD officers at the scene confirmed it was one of the LAPD vehicles that struck the officer.
I didn't see that, but I heard that one of the fellow cops hit him.
It happened Friday evening, just after 5 on Covella Street and Hollywood Way in Sun Valley. LAPD officers in pursuit of a stolen black truck. The truck crashed into a fire hydrant and a car in a driveway. Almost immediately, another call on the radio.
I love it. I love it that a cop had to get hit. Vital infrastructure had to get taken out. Somebody's truck in their front yard had to get smashed into just so these cops could feel alive for a few minutes.
Yeah. And just be alive. Because like I said, if he didn't hit that fire hydrant and I'm telling you, that water saved him. He would have been shredded up.
The cops didn't even like admit that it was a cop driving the cruiser. They're like, I'm not saying nothing. It's like, but a cruiser hit him, right? So it had to be a cop. Well, we haven't ruled out that the car thief didn't steal the cop car and then strike one of our officers with it.
How weird is it that because you can hear there's like audio of the dash cam, not much audio, but it's like ambient audio. The driver doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was like target. I think it was no, that was right.
Because that's always like the most interesting things about like, you know, cops, like when a cop shoots someone in video, when they realize they shot him and they're like, fuck. Like that part didn't even happen.
Right. On Tuesday, officials with LAPD would not confirm that the officer was hit by one of their own cruisers. I love that. Like we were looking at the dash cam footage of it. But they were in pursuit of a stolen vehicle when an officer was struck at the termination, sustaining non-life-threatening injuries. It's cool. This is what happens when officers insist on high-speed pursuits for a car theft, you know, or whatever. It's not good. I mean, it's LA. Like, don't tell me you guys don't have choppers.
Yeah, I mean, high-speed pursuits are so awful, and like it's one of those things that we should be like just as mad about those as we are about everything else they do. You know, like I had a friend who was killed on his bike because somebody who decided to run on he was running on like tags. It wasn't even anything crazy. Running on tags. They're chasing him through the canyon. And the dude just went through my friend at 90 miles an hour.
Fuck.
And it wouldn't have happened if the cops weren't chasing him.
No.
Yeah.
It's
like,
such a joke. It's absurd. Like,
people die all the time for no reason from that stuff.
Again, like it doesn't justify whatever crime happened doesn't justify it that much in more. And you're not undoing the crime by doing any of that.
Yeah, like go be a fucking detective. You have the plate information. Go like find them later. Go be a detective.
Right, exactly. Let's get into a few responses before we get out of here because they were pretty good. Hardly Spent says, who could have not seen that? The world's worst driver definitely shouldn't be patrolling the streets. Maybe grabbing coffee for the team would be a more appropriate task for this gifted person. A lot of anti-cop stuff in this.
Nice.
Some of it was racist against the brown cop, and some of it was like, oh yeah, he's too fat, and that's why they hit him. So it's something.
I
like
knew that was going to happen.
So something to that effect. I don't know. Like, oh, if he'd ran faster, he wouldn't have gotten hit by the cop car or something. I don't know. But no, a lot of general like, are these guys total morons?
Yeah. I mean, yes.
But Jintoki-san, oh god. Jintoki-san replies, maybe.
Let us know if we need to edit that. We'll do it in post. Let us know if we should not have said that.
Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, we need to fund them a little more, you see.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that it's like oozing sarcasm, so it almost could sound like that's what an idiot would say.
Yeah.
Like that's what he's trying to do, but I think he's being like, duh, if we had more money, you would teach them how to not be homicidal maniacs. Like, I don't like, this is more than negligence. Like, I genuinely think he thought he was the perp. They thought he was the suspect, and this is what they do to suspects. They run them down
with cars.
Aside from like I'm glad I remembered. Aside from the high-speed pursuit thing being awful, cops routinely will hit suspects fleeing on foot with their cars. There's been several times where that's happened, and I don't want to cover it on the show because it's not fun, because reactionaries love it. The fascists love hitting people with cars, and it's too dark even for me.
And they're convinced they're doing it like in a tactical fashion. They're convinced they're doing it in a non-lethal fashion.
Yeah, so this is what they do. They just normally do it to people you hate and want it done to. They're not, quote, stupid. They're violent. They're violent and awful.
You know, I could get behind this if we can design a mechanism that upon impact of a person, it sprays out a soapy, watery liquid in the landing zone so they can also slip and slide and be safe.
And then it would be
just soaking wet.
Yeah, it's more embarrassing though. So I think maybe that's how we get the compromise. This is really embarrassing for them. You won't kill them, but their reputation
we'll make it like an effeminate color. Or we'll make it look like cum. We'll just make it look like cum. That way it just looks like they're just covered in cum when it's done.
Oh, are we going down another cum riff? What this show is known for?
Oh, we're not going to talk about the cum trucks.
Cum trucks? Let's not talk about cum.
See?
Trucks.
Exactly.
I liked this. Daisy 101 from the Bay Area says that is why it is called an accident. Every single time a criminal runs or resists, the danger goes up for everyone. Glad the officer is okay. And this is where I'm the duck with the stick running after Daisy 101. And I'm saying, why does the danger go up for everybody? Why does the danger go?
Yeah.
It's because cops are going to hit you with their car at 75 miles an hour.
And this also is kind of going under the premise of like, listen, like, you think it's bad, but what if that cop wasn't a cop? What if that cop was a bad guy? Like, that's what she's saying. Like, no, if they run away, that's more danger. But that wasn't a criminal by your standards.
They wouldn't have to drive 75 miles an hour away if the cops weren't chasing them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here we go. Jellybean 1 says, and excuse me, tubby cop that got hit ran directly into the path of the car that hit him. Dumb of him to run into the center of the road with others in pursuit. He could have run on the side of the road, not center. He also needs to lose some weight, as he's probably a heart attack waiting to happen. So I don't like, this wasn't the main sentiment in here. Like, this was just a really vicious guy desperately trying to blame it on the victim here. That's probably in a lot of these people's DNA, and it's just confused things when the victim happened to be a cop this time.
Also, like that him being a little on the Husky side probably helped him out a lot in the impact.
That's
We've
true.
also discovered a lot about the health and wealth of fat people and non-fat people, and about how a lot of those things are just fat phobic fallacies. And you really need to do some reading up, Jelly Bean One. I bet you're one of those skinny fucks who eats a bunch of candy.
I'd rather have a fat, cuddly cop than a like a wiry school shooter cop.
Oh yeah, I don't want a wiry school shooter cop. No.
Frank W. Smith says adrenaline-induced tunnel vision during pursuits is real. Glad the officer is okay. The driving officer needs more training. The thing is about tunnel vision is the cop was right in front of him.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't, like, he turned to ensure that the cop stayed within his tunnel of vision. Like the camera had the kid, you might as well draw a crosshair on the center of that video, and the camera turns with the pedestrian officer.
And so, like, that's not necessarily either wrong, but you're right. It's right in front of you. And also part of if a pursuit is part of your job, and adrenaline is ton of something you have to deal with, like Formula One drivers, they do this thing where they have to deal with that because they're taking corners at 140 miles an hour. So what they have to do is they have to train to avoid the tunnel vision so they don't hit people around them. And there's something you can do to avoid that. Yes, average person, adrenaline for sure. But if that's part of your job, you should be prepared for that.
I think we should fund the police finally so they can afford to get those adrenaline blockers for introverts.
Yes. There you go.
And that way we could have cool, unemotional police officers.
But then they'll never be satisfied, and they'll do more desperate things to
get
achieve,
that high.
to try to find it. Yeah.
To get that emotional high. Are they going to be sense criminals?
Yeah. No, they're just going to start playing chicken on the freeway. They're just going to go the opposite direction on the freeway without their lights on.
Yeah, T. Jordan said there was a lot of this. This looks like the Keystone Cops. In California, they are not used to going after bad guys. That's true. You know how cops have quotas? In most states, it's quotas to catch criminals. But in California, you have a quota to catch other cops.
Yeah, right. I fucking wish. Where is this idea that like California's easy on crime thing coming from? Like Riverside has like the highest rate of like cop kills in the past few years.
Go look at our YouTube channel. I did a supercut of it's just CHP. It's just the fucking highway
patrol. Like, yeah.
It's set to a really fun song and to CHP doing karaoke as well as a lot of crimes. Check it out.
It's almost as funny as this video we're talking about now.
Yeah, free last one here. Free Leva. So like B Leva, I guess. Wow. From Fredonia, United States. Free Leva.
Drop a pin, babe. I want to visit you there.
Free Leva says Blue State Madness. And I agree. This is Blue State Madness. $5 billion for the cops, and all they do is hit each other with cars.
Yeah. I mean, this makes sense because the thing about blue states is their cops are a bunch of libs too.
I mean, we covered this on the San Francisco killer robot police force episode. Like, these people think that blue state cops and like big city cops are some of the worst cops in existence.
Yeah.
And, if this had happened in a blue city that was in a red state, they would be saying Blue City Madness.
Yep, absolutely.
But the idea is, cops are pretty bad, and in cities they can be even worse. But that's the episode, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Again, if you want to support the show and get two bonus episodes a week, go to patreon.com/Minion Death Cult. That link will be in this episode's description. Only $5 a month gets you 2 bonus episodes directly in your podcast app or browser. It also gets you 20% off all merchandise over at miniondeathcult.com. We have a few shirts still left and a bunch of stickers for you to get. Sign up at the Patreon and use your 20% discount over at the web store.